Brian, do I sound weird? You told me I sounded weird before the show.
Actually, this is the best you've sounded at the start of a show.
That's
About
how
like
it
a
goes.
year and a half.
Now, Brian, you told me you were going to be drinking tonight, and it does sound like you may have been drinking.
Oh yeah.
What was the occasion?
My brothers are in town for Christmas, so we went out to a barcade near me. Tried
to what?
And we took second to come back for this show. We haven't beaten it yet.
Sorry, I missed you froze for a second. What game were you playing at the barcade?
Space Invaders.
Okay, nice.
Yeah.
And there's a barcade by your lake house?
Yeah. So right now we have like, second, 6th, 7th, 8th. We have like 4 or 5 on the top 10, but like I was hoping to take the top score before we had to do this show, and I'm embarrassed to say we actually didn't do it.
Wow.
I'm very embarrassed about this, honestly.
I'm surprised that you were even willing to show your face on this show after not getting.
I'm kind of pissed off on it.
So what? Wait, did you say it was a bachelor party or a birthday party?
No. There's no party. It's just my brothers and me. And I'm like, we're going to this barcade. We're going to fucking beat Space and their highest Space Invaders record. Right? They don't live around here. And I saw this, like I went there once and I'm like, oh, we're going to beat that fucking shit. And Christmas time, my brother came up from Florida. My other brother coming in from outside Chicago. And right now we haven't beaten it. We took second right now. And I'm not happy about it. So, but I'm pretty toasty.
I can tell. I can tell. This is by far the most toasty I've ever seen you.
Oh God, yeah. I started doing Long Islands. And my channel's not streaming, it looks like, which is not uncommon. So
let me see here.
Well, yeah, why don't you take a peek?
All right, now try.
I mean, it's supposed to auto load with our new settings, but oh yeah, now it's loading.
There you go. So did you have a history with Space Invaders? Did you play this like when you were a kid?
No, I mean, I've played Space Invaders before, but like it was the coolest old school game they had at the arcade there.
Yeah. And
I'm like, well, I mean, we should beat this one for sure. Because all the other games are like whatever, lame, new stuff. So
yeah. What else are you guys? Are you guys just taking an hour break and then you're gonna head back?
They're downstairs playing pool.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go. What do they listen to Lols ever?
I doubt it. Yeah, I don't think so.
Wow. Didn't you say your mom listens?
My mom, she's probably listening right fucking now. She's like, "Oh my God, I know you were at the arcade and then you came home and you have your show."
Let's see where to start this week. The big news was Sunday night. Was it Sunday night or Monday night? We, I finally have a good showdown sweat. I normally go to bed because my showdown lineups are just so dusted and I don't even stay up for it. But I was like, I actually have a sweat here, and then couldn't help but notice one Mr. BRIC75 up there next to me at the top of the leaderboards, and I thought I was gonna win, Brian, and then you cucked me.
Right, I wasn't watching live. But I did. Someone tagged me on Twitter, and I'm like, "Oh shit, this is gonna be fucking fun." So I assumed I was gonna just lose, just like, "Oh my God, Pete's gonna own me for the rest of my life." And I didn't know I won till you tagged me online too on Twitter.
Yeah, we both had concession speeches planned for that one, it was you had the sicko lineup with the Saints defense and the captain, and I had the Leonard Fournette captain, and he of course ended up leaving the game early, and then it was one of the more, it was a fun sweat but a brutal one because I literally wanted nothing to happen, including defensive. I wanted 3 and outs, but I also needed the clock to bleed. It was just like the most painful thing. Yeah. And yet I was shocked that it even held on for second.
I mean, showdowns are sick. Like you need some
really
crazy shit to happen. Like that. Okay. I need the game. Like someone to fly into the stadium, just end this right now. Like,
yeah.
But
so
the
this
fact that I beat you is pretty impressive.
Yeah, so this was in the 60K play action 20 entry max.
Look at that
here.
garbage lineup.
Look at this garbage lineup. Saints D, Taysom Hill, Chris Godwin, Leonard Fournette, Gronk, and Callaway. And then I had Fournette captain, and then I had Buccaneers D and you had Gronk.
So I'm what, 3K under salary? You're what, 38?
Yeah.
It's hard to see.
You were 3, and let's see, what was I? I was 38. Yeah.
Okay. And all right, 20 max. Okay, can you see the total amount of people entered in that?
Yeah, this was a 23,800.
Oh my God. Okay. Well,
the other thing that was crazy about this, Brian, is there was the other bigger 20 max that I think had, like 25,000 up top or 20,000. And both of our lineups would have won that one unduped.
No, I was in all those.
You were? With the exact same 20 max?
No, I just might not have put the right one in there.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but I was in all those, pretty sure.
So, yeah, there was the point there where I
took second. I took like second or third in most things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you must have had a lot of Saints D captain.
I didn't even look. Yeah, probably. And then like right after that, the next showdown too, if Justin Fields didn't throw that touchdown, I win like 100.
Really?
Yeah, I don't like these crazy COVID dumb games and stuff are like perfect for the contrarian don't do bro.
Yeah,
they're fantastic for it. Yeah,
yeah. The showdown stuff has been very good of late. Definitely a good reminder to check out Run the Sims. I've been a birdie told me they're going to be running maybe a playoff special. Get you in on all those Sims for the playoff slate. So highly recommend it. Have been having fun with that. And we have another one tomorrow night because there is apparently football every single night of the week these days.
We have Thursday night, and it's back to regular, right? The new, Saturday.
But it basically just Wednesday off, for a round. We had Saturday. Because Friday was the last time we had off since tonight.
I got my dad and my mom to play the showdowns these last week.
Really?
Mm-hmm. I'm like, okay, here's the only rule, Bill, and whatever you want, but it's got to be under 4,900 in salary. So that's how you're making sure they're not too duped? Right, yeah. Play with a lot of people, but like at least be under 4,900. And then if you want to do 2 lineups, pick the exact opposite outcome of your first lineup. So if you're going to have fun, like do those two. Do those 2 things, yeah. And
how have their lineups been looking?
They're fine. I mean, does it matter? It's showdown. Like, is the lineup any lineup bad in showdown? So my dad does a lineup 49.7 in salary. I'm like, Dad.
I said 49.
I said under 49 at the minimum. It's like, yeah, but you gotta play Mac Jones with.
That's
there you go. Tell him under 40. Well, as long as he's playing against 20,000 opponents or whatever, Pete.
Yeah,
10,000 opponents or more under X amount. So it's like a new game for him, right?
Yeah, and I like tomorrow, the Thursday, and then the Monday night ones, like the big 20 maxes have like 160,000 people in them. They're just absurd. My sweet spot that I've noticed, like with the Sims and the don't dupe bro lifestyle, like 50 to 70,000 is kind of like my favorite spot where you're not having to play like third string fullbacks to make sure you're not duped.
Yeah, I guess that's a lot of opponents. So like, okay, so like if you look at like certain DFS, like the go-to DFS guys lineups and stuff,
yeah,
they generally don't have like over 48.5 in salary, even more than that. If you are doing some sort of whole scientific structure where you're like figuring it out, like this is what a dupe means and stuff like that, you can squeak in dupes higher than that. But if you're just a handheld bro or whatever, like it's probably the more you have, just go down from that. So like 49.2 maybe should be your absolute max. And if you have a 49-2, like you better have something like wonky in there to make you be like a 49-2 that's not going to dupe more than 12 times. 12's pushing it though.
Yeah, and it also depends on the slate because some slates, I mean, it might be viable to leave 4,000 on the table pretty easily just because the lack of high end studs or whatever, guys getting late scratch, stuff like that.
Viable is not a word I like equate to this because like I don't care if it's viable. Like I'm just trying to like
no, but it's the same way that you can't say like, oh, you want to have less than 200 cumulative ownership or you need 200 ceiling points to win a tournament. Like it's variable to the slate and the pricing of a slate.
I guess. Yeah, I mean, like there's definitely a breaking point, Pete. But like if you're playing against 80,000 opponents in a showdown, and you have more than 49.5 in salary, you're probably duping a significant amount of time, no matter the slate.
No. I'm going in the other extreme. I'm saying you could leave 3,000, leave 4,000 on the table in some slates, depending on the pricing.
Oh, okay. So you're saying like you can even go further on that?
Yes. I'm not saying.
Okay. Oh, okay. Yeah. Oh, I 100% agree. Yeah. Okay. Now, not financial advice. So for you to adjust your lineups accordingly. Yeah, I would not be embarrassed without 3. I do that constantly. 4,000 or 5,000. So like my minimum salary would be like 40,000 or something, like significant, very low. Something I would put if I had to hand build.
Yeah.
Like something 40,000 or more, something like that, like very low.
Yeah, and especially if you're using multiple defenses and or kickers, like your salary also is just going to naturally be pretty low.
Yeah, clearly. And you like, okay, so I have two running backs on the same team. So okay, I don't need to be this bad. But if you're still like, if it's 49.5 or above, I'd still be like, I got 2 running backs on the same team. It's going to differentiate me, but it's probably going to still be more than 15. We want to be under 15 at least. So
yeah. Do you know what I've noticed when I'm checking my dupes in the big 20 maxes? There's always like one that'll like randomly have 30 some dupes that I expected to have like less than 10. And it's always a defensive captain if there's like a spread of like more than 10 and everyone's like, yeah, that's defensive captain. And like, there are some times where the field's like, yeah, this is going to be a gross game. And then I'm always like, shit, like that actually wasn't the way to play that.
I mean, this should be a like central thesis to your I need to, you can't hear my phone ringing.
Yeah,
you need to this should be a central thesis to anything you do in DFS is like it's a broad spectrum. So like you think you're gonna be like this guy's gonna be super high owned and turns out he's not, or this guy's gonna be super low owned and turns out he's not. So like you need to have like some sort of leeway in your process that that accounts for like, okay, it's not exactly what Alex thinks the ownership's going to be. Something like that, you know?
Yeah. What I was so disappointed last night with the contest that DraftKings was making us play the 2-game slate, and the prize pools for the showdowns were awful. Yeah. Alex ended up putting up ownership for the Seattle game. ETR didn't even end up doing showdown stuff for that. Did you end up just giving into the 2-gamer?
I did the 2-gamer. It would have been hard for me to do the showdown. I kind of wanted to do the 50K to first on the showdown.
Yeah, there was a big prize pool for the 2-gamer.
2-gamer shoot. Yeah, so I did the 2-gamer, and like my whole NFL season, I got my fucking ass handed to me, and fucking Russell Westbrook, Jesus Christ. And I didn't watch any of the game, and I could care less how. But it's like I think I had 43%.
Russell Wilson.
Yeah.
Do you like for some reason? I have a streamlined process for showdown, so I am more comfortable with that, and I have a streamlined process for main slate. But like short slates, I do not ever feel good about those. I never feel good about Thanksgiving ones. I don't know. It's just like. My GPP brain and showdown brain have a hard time with those.
No, I prefer
You prefer a
The
2-game to
smaller one.
showdown?
No, I prefer showdown over 2-game, but I prefer
Yeah.
4, 5, 6, 7 over 12 or something like that.
Yeah, I mean just
It's
like
more
the
NBA
2-game.
probably, but
Yeah, in NBA then there ends up being more a game. There's more options from a game generally,
yeah,
right?
like 12 in the NFL. It's like, I mean, it's all fucking. This is why, like, with content bros, no offense, love you, Pete, and I'm not even saying you this, but like, he's Debo's owned 20%. Oh my god! It's like, yeah, you think that really matters that much? Like, okay, so he's owned 15. Is that going to change everything? If he was on 22, is that the game breaker here? Like, it's like, who gives a fuck?
Well, where's the break even?
Much?
Because
but you guys are all guessing anyways.
What do you
mean? You guys are all fucking guessing anyways. Like, no, but Debo Samuel 20%. I mean, how could he possibly be on 20%? If he was on 17, I could see.
The exasperation isn't that that the guess on the ownership was wrong. Like, that's never. It's more like, holy shit, I made a bad play because of what the percentage.
Okay, where's the line?
Well, it's clearly somewhere between 0 and 100, right? 100% ownership.
But you're only talking about two of not even a standard deviation. So 20% owned. Where's the line? Let's say he's 17% owned.
Mm-hmm.
Is that horrible?
Probably
say he's 15% owned. Is that horrible? When is it horrible?
It all depends on the slate or the rest of your lineup, right?
How? Like, okay,
what if you were eating the chalk in every other spot? You're playing James Robinson, you're playing Devontae Parker, you're playing this, and now you're playing Debo Samuel at 25% instead of 15%. That makes a difference.
You're eating the chalk on all your other lineups, all your other players. Yeah. Debo Samuel's 17% owned. All of a sudden, that lineup's bad. But if it was 14% owned, it's good.
Well, in my example, I used 25 to 15. I mean, you're saying your point is that maybe 3 to 4 deviations isn't bad, but you would have to admit that 10 percentage points in one direction or the other would be bad.
Maybe, but like, where does this come from? Where do they, like? It's just like he's over 20, so it must be bad or something. It's really, I don't really see like a rhyme or a reason to it. Like, well, Debo Samuel was.
But then why even do ownership projections if it doesn't matter?
Well, sometimes it doesn't. A lot of times they're wrong.
You make ownership projections for PGA.
If you follow mine, a lot of times they're quite a bit wrong.
Right. So why even bother if that doesn't matter?
Well, because the argument between like 0 and 20 is different than 20 and 15. Like, I don't go on shows and go like, well, if Debo Samuel is 20% owned, you shouldn't own him. But if he's 11, he's a great play. I just make ownership projections.
I mean, to me, it's like if you're in 1,000-person tournament and you think a play is going to be 10% and there's 100 lineups that have Debo versus 200 lineups that have Debo, that is a significant difference.
I mean, it's almost like I did a video on this about how ownership works. No, of course, if you don't need 100, you don't need 1,000 opponents. You can just do it with a coin flip, for example. But the coin flip example is like illustrative of why, like, does 20% versus 15% matter that much? No, not really. Like, if you watch my video on ownership and and just change the numbers from 20% to 15%, it matters very little.
Yeah, the funny thing is I feel like I've gotten trapped going the other direction where it's like, okay, Antonio Gibson's projecting for 30% ownership. And then in your small field and 3-max contest, like he could, in certain situations, could be 60% in small field stuff. And I get trapped looking at my spreadsheet. And I'm like, yeah, 30% with that projection on this slate, that doesn't seem too bad. And then it'll legit come in 55 to 60%. I was like, fuck, I should have known that he was going to get more popular in this specific type of contest.
That certainly matters. So like, and I would say probably what's it called? The single entry NFL is probably one of the more like total examples of where, oh my God, this guy who's like 25% owned and the Millie is like 60% owned. That happens all the time in those, the SPY and double SPY and all that stuff. That's a huge difference. So, like, if you can go, like, I know this guy's going to be owned 65% and I'm just going to fade him, sure. But if you're, like, going, like, Osmo has him at 15%, ETR has him at, like, 20%, like, what do you think you're gaining there?
No, nothing.
Not a lot.
No. And I don't think anyone is. It's more when there's, like, the only times the last time I was exasperated was a couple weeks ago, a CD Lamb. He was projecting like 5 to 7% everywhere, and he was 23% in the SPY. I was like, are you fucking kidding me? Because I like CD Lamb way more at 6% than I do at 23%.
And I should say, I'm not talking about you, Pete. I was listening to Blender's podcast on the way up to my house here. And they were talking about, like, I can't believe you played, who did I just say? I can't even fucking remember who I just said. You played Devo Samuel 20%. It's like, who gives a fuck? So 17% even, 12%'s good. You think that's the fucking? And by the way, good luck judging that shit. Good luck getting that close. See how you do. Try to predict that yourself. Good
right,
luck.
but like, where is your break even point on that span? Like or gap between like win a play.
I mean, that's the big thing. Is like when people say there's a break even. Okay, we have to break this down. So there are the petties, the petty theft, the chesses OKs, the Oxen Duck. If I'm going to throw him in there, he's DMing me. I don't think he is actually in this plane of existence. I don't think he exists in this plane. He just wins money and then leaves. But these people, maybe they have some key. Maybe they have all this strategy. Besides them, though, no. I don't think anyone knows what the fuck they're doing. And because if you do this through a simulation, it's not going to fade the dude. It's not going to fucking fade the dude. It's going to have him less than whatever the projection is. So, like, let's say the guy's 50% owned in NBA. Let's do NBA here. NFL's different. It's not going to be like, I'm gonna have this great sim and stuff, and I'm not going to own him. That doesn't happen. You have to do some sort of manual adjustment or complete deviation from what the projections say to get him to zero. That's a fucking fact. Mm-hmm. So does that make sense? I realize I'm drunk. I was playing fucking Space Invaders all day. So,
I do. I think it's a little harder for me just because I don't understand the nuances of NBA. But like, I guess to me, I understand what you're saying. That a couple percentage points isn't a big deal.
Okay, Pete, think of it as a normal distribution.
Mm-hmm.
Intelligence is the normal distribution, right? It's just a bell curve like this. Some people are here, smart people over here, dumb people over here, right? And it's this fucking thing.
I've seen the memes. Yes,
it's the same fucking. You got the Jedi guy over here and the dumb and the
middle
dumb
IQ.
Fucking, yes, it's the exact same thing with usually with outcome. So now, how can you predict differently? Okay, if you're petty theft, you can know that, like, okay, it doesn't look like this. It looks like this actually. Mm-hmm. And he can adjust for that, right? But he's better than you. You're not him. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Not you, Pete, but the listener. You're the greatest NBA DFS player of all time. But besides you, right? So he has a different distribution on those. He might not even know what the fuck I'm talking about here, but like he does have it in his head. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But if you don't have that petty theft adjustment, you're never gonna fade fucking TJ McConnell when he's starting. Okay, like it's not gonna happen. You might have him less than the ownership or more than the ownership, but if you run the simulations, you're never gonna be never have him in one lineup, most likely. Mm-hmm. Unless for some reason the ownership projection is completely out of sorts.
You mean just because in that example they project so well?
Yeah, it's usually like a little bit less or a little bit more. Mm-hmm. You have to manually intervene to change it.
Mm-hmm. What about in MMA? Because that one was always interesting to me too, with ownership as well, and then just like how binary outcomes are, where it's like, oh, the main fighter in the 5-round fight is going to be super popular, and then I fade them, but then I'm not necessarily always playing the underdog in that matchup who could take advantage of it.
Yeah, for certain. Like, do you think there's like Adam Levitans in the MMA space yet? Do you think there's like these excellent projections with a, like in the MMA space? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Go ahead. No.
I was just going to say, how, like, compared to like taking for NFL projections, like obviously a team total is baked in to the projection. With MMA, I'm guessing like the Vegas lines and odds comprise a bigger portion of the projection. Does that make sense? Is that true? Like, just their success for a knockout?
I mean, this is pure conjecture, Pete, because obviously I'm not a professional sports bettor, but I would bet that it's like 1/100th the volume, 1/1000th the volume. I honestly, it's so significantly smaller, the volume that's bet on MMA compared to NFL.
No, so I just meant using those Vegas lines to inform projections. My thesis was a Vegas line can tell you more about an MMA fighter projection than an NFL line can tell you about an individual player's projection.
Yeah, but I don't understand why you would repeat that. Like, I'm saying, like, the MMA projections are so in comparison bet on so small compared to NFL lines that you don't draw the same. You can't draw the same definitive conclusions. I'm not understanding.
No, you're not understanding my question.
Yeah, I'm missing the point.
It's right. How you're responding is not what I'm asking, but it's not important. I don't care enough to belabor it. Did you want to talk about your Votecoin proposal that went up recently?
Sure.
So tell the people, because I think you've mentioned it a few times before on the show, and we talked about Miami Coin, but tell people what it is and what compelled you to write this proposal.
Sure. Yeah. So I did initially name it Votecoin in my head here, and did the URL. I told my guy to do Votecoin is the URL, and then I Googled like, oh, there's already a Votecoin. God damn it. I didn't know there's a Votecoin, and I'm not like trying to create a coin or anything like that. I was trying to make like a counter to Miami Coin. That's it.
Right.
And so Votecoin was taken. So like I changed it right at the end to like, this is just pure, like came off the top of my head, like UBI coin, which is basically the same thing. So like I'll just run with this. And my web guy, I was like, just leave it. Leave it as Votecoin. Yeah. So yeah, the name of the thing is meaningless to me, but like it was really, just a counter to Miami Coin. And we talked about this on the show a couple of times, how I'm not a fan at all of Miami Coin.
Yeah. And so was this, like, I guess I'm more curious because I mean, I read your write-up and I love that kind of stuff. I saw someone in your mentions talking to you about the quadratic voting stuff, and I had read about that. And I think thinking about these ideas where you get the incentives aligned is really cool. How are you thinking about this? Was this just like a fun thought experiment or something you had in your head that you wanted to get down? Or is this something you want to like pound the pavement on more and see if you can get more traction on it?
Well, I was hoping that like someone else would pick up on it and like run with it. Because like obviously Miami Coin is doing very well. You know, they made, and I wrote in the article that they made what 30 million in 3 months or something like that. And so they're racking out like, so like Illinois' budget, like our whole state is like, when I was there was like 65 billion. I think now it's 75 billion. I mean, first of all, these numbers are astronomical when you hear them. But like if you can make 30 million in 3 months, like who knows what you could do with this, right? Like who knows what you can do with it. And so I just can't stand the idea behind Miami Coin. And I was like, okay, if you do want to do something, here's how I would do it. Here's how I would try to affect chains. And like, who are we involved with? Okay, so like obviously, like Pete, we're like, DFS, gambling, crypto, this whole range of things, right? But like, don't you want to have some accountability for this coin that you're giving to whatever your city, your state, your local government? Don't you want to have some accountability? So it's like, okay, how could you do that? Well, here's an idea, So what did you think, Pete? Like, could you like explain it at all? I was afraid it didn't make any sense. Like, did it make sense to you? Was it a little complicated or not complicated enough?
No, there were definitely parts that like take more like, idealistic leaps, where the kind of the cynic in you is just like, oh man, this would never happen, a state or legislature. But that also is the kind of thinking that keeps us forever from ever doing anything. Mm-hmm. But yes, no, conceptually, this idea of aligning incentives, making sure there's consequences for actions by people in the government. And it also made me think of like how incentives aren't aligned often for coaches and GMs in sports, where they are trying to just make it another year, collect more checks, when often the best move for the franchise would be, a 5-year plan or longer term stuff. But then they're on the chopping block. And how many of these, GMs have we seen who take the long view, not make it because the organization won't give them time? So just like that kind of concept of making people responsible for their actions and aligning incentives better, I think is a great idea.
Right. And I mean, there is a dramatic difference between the state and the owner of your favorite football team, right? Like they own that team. They can do whatever they want, but like your local government can send Pete to jail for smoking pot, so these are important things to get around. And so like I try to write it as, people who watch this, I'm a liberty bro. So like I try to not push that in the 1,800 words I put on there, but obviously that's something I'm interested in. But I felt like I tried to get it towards where like you can understand like this could be something where it's direct democracy in action too. Mm-hmm. It's or UBI if you're into that, like, and pretty much any angle you want, except if you want to use government to achieve some sort of goal, then you're probably not on board in that. But everything else, I feel like everyone else could kind of be on board with it. And so like Miami coin has taken off, fairly well, or it's pretty popular, where it's like, what are you guys getting out of this? You're getting nothing. You're getting no guarantees at all. They could easily take this money and try to take your crypto. They could pay people to go to your house and like try to figure out, pay accountants to try to take your stuff. You know what I mean? Like you're getting no guarantees from this whatsoever. And it's getting pumped by the Washington Post and all these different outlets. I'm not trying to make a claim on any of these things. It's like, what was this all about? What was crypto all about? Was it about my fucking Citicoin? Why are people mining this in the first place? If you're going to fucking donate, which is what it is, donation to some cause, why wouldn't you donate it towards NFT protections, to DeFi protections, to people who think like us, to people who want to protect the same interests that we have, right?
Yeah.
And you do it all, it's all decentralized, and it's easily done. And so, like, okay, so let's say it's a dumb, stupid idea, right? Like my specific version of it. Maybe somebody else takes it to something else that's, smarter, or like, oh God, well, actually, maybe we can protect ourselves.
Yeah.
Right. Instead of just sitting here when Congress goes, we just printed $7 trillion, but we need $20 billion in Bitcoin taxes to pay the Build Back Better plan.
Yeah.
It's like, wait, why? What do we have to do with this? We need to balance the budget. Like, no, you don't. No, we do. Fuck you. And there's nothing you can do about it, right?
Right. And when the other thing about it in general, too, if like a legislator would actually take the time to read and understand it, is it would maybe demystify a lot of current crypto thought, because you can listen to the hearings right now and it seems like 80% of them still think it's just for like drugs and money laundering and illicit things. Like they don't even understand some of the actual real life beneficial use cases to this. So like, just even opening their eyes up to, oh, crypto could be used in this way, I think would be a win. Uh-oh. I think Brian froze on me again. Christopher says, cheers from Germany. Cheers, Christopher. What time is it in Germany? It must be late, right? So like middle of the night, 2, 3 a.m. Yep. This Brian has said this quote on the show before as well. Assume any weapon you invent now will be used against you within the next 5 years. I have no idea what happened to Brian. It did seem like his internet was out bad. It also seems like Brian is pretty drunk tonight. So who knows? I'm probably not going to vamp for too long here. It might just be a short episode of Lulz tonight. Let's see here. Paul asks, did Brian wear a Lulz hat to the barcade? Anyone from barcade listening? Maybe. Yeah, I think Brian went back to the barcade. He fully dropped off the screen here, getting comments of passing out. But hey, we made it 37 minutes. We'll touch base with Brian. We could talk more about Votecoin. I think he's going on the Take Cast, if I'm blowing that up, with Davis tomorrow. Oh, he's back. He might be back. We'll see if this works.
I'm back. Yeah.
I was literally just about to shut down the show. I thought I thought your internet went dead, or
there must be an internet problem. Can you hear me?
I can hear you, but I cannot see you. Your screen is.
Oh, well, you know why? Because I closed this off. Because I wanted you seeing me doing what I was just doing right now. I'm sorry, Pete. Can I go back to what we were talking about?
Yes. Yeah. I was literally about to just end the show.
Good thing you weren't. So okay. So how are we going to affect some sort of change? Like, okay, obviously you and I both want a lot of similar things, which is leave NFTs alone, leave crypto alone. I would assume you're agreeing with me here. I'm speaking for you, but you guys don't understand DeFi. You don't understand it. How could you regulate it when you don't understand? You know what I'm saying, right? So how do you accomplish these things, right? Like when you're gonna vote your way to this, Pete? I'm not talking about you, Pete, but just generally speaking, are we gonna vote our way to this? Are we gonna donate our way to this? And there's thousands of people who are watching this show, watching other shows, who agree with us. How we just kind of sit here like little bitches and just whatever happens, fucking happens. Mm-hmm. What are we gonna do? Right? Oh, we're going to do fucking run for office? Are we going to fucking send Lou Dog to fucking office? Are we going to send, you know what I mean? Who's going to fucking go run? And by the way, none of you motherfuckers know a goddamn thing about running for office. And not like I'm an expert, but I know a lot more than any DFS bro or the NFT bro. You have no fucking shot. You actually, some of you fucking could. And I could help you actually run for office. But it is a lot more complicated than you think. And so I'm saying we have to do this like a decentralized, the same way, the same thesis that Satoshi came up with. We have to do it outside of the system. I know you're smiling, so it's hard.
I'm laughing at people commenting about your Lou Dog stuff.
Yeah, let's fucking send Lou Dog out there. You know who could do it? Maybe is fucking what's his name? God damn it! He's got the sultry voice on the NGMI stream.
Babs? Gum?
No.
Dangy?
Nope. Dangy. Yeah. The deep voice guy.
Okay.
He might have a shot with that deep.
I love it. You've been grinding some NGMI streams.
I'm like, yo, Pete's grinding here. And it's like two views. I'm like, I'll be the third view.
Wow, taking shots at the
fucking with you guys. I'm kidding. Drunk by C. Bryce's a political consultant. I was actually a political consultant before I was drunk.
Steven wants to know what he's watching. You're watching LOLs.
Have you? You must be new here.
You are getting, if this is your first time watching LOLs, I would say the content is completely normal for a LOLs episode.
Yeah.
We talked about DFS and a new government crypto coin. So that's like right up our alley. I will say though, BRIC is, I've never seen BRIC this intoxicated on a show. And we've done some drunken live streams before.
Fucking hammered right now. It's those Long Islands, man. Long Islands. They're like fucking.
Long Islands will get you. Those are dangerous.
I had like 10 of them, probably.
Yes, we will vote. Lou. I mean, you're saying other DFS player. I mean, if Peter Jennings wanted to run for office, I could see him.
That actually came into my head.
Yeah.
But either way, it doesn't matter.
I know what your point is.
It doesn't matter who you are. It doesn't matter who you are. Because okay, so here's what happens when you run for office. So the first thing you do, you're never gonna win. But let's just say you fucking have a fucking chance. Here's what happens: is you if you want to run for office, let's say you're Lou, and I'm assuming Lou has nothing to do with politics. You're done already, Lou. But if you know some people, you could probably get an advisor in your area. Where does Lou live? Do you know?
Colorado.
Okay. I don't know anything shit about Colorado, obviously, but they all work the same fucking way. And I'm guessing since everyone's a fucking Democrat, Lou's probably a fucking Democrat. So Lou would work with the Democratic Party. So you need to get an advisor from the Democratic Party. Now, that is not as easy as it sounds. We would turn down a lot of people. Right. So what happens is you get a questionnaire from the stakeholders. So it would be like unions, and there's a bunch of different types of unions. You have to fill out all these questionnaires on how you would respond if this piece of legislation happened. So it's like, okay, this piece of legislation happened. How do you respond? Would you vote yes or no? Would you vote yes or no? You have to respond all these questionnaires back to these certain people. This is if you can get these people to even run your campaign, which you won't. But let's just say you could. You have to answer all these questionnaires right. So you answer all these questionnaires right, blah, blah, blah. Now you have to get money. So you're far ahead of the competition. So far ahead of the competition here. You're gonna get money at this point. But you have to get the specific people who run the county, the city, the state, and the local fund. It depends on which state you're in, but who runs the main source of county and party fundraising.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like the Democratic Party of Cook County. Cook County's Chicago, right? Or the Democrats of Illinois, the Senate Democrats, or the representative. So you have to have every single piece behind you, and then they'll fund your campaign. Yeah, it's almost impossible for this to happen, for Lou or anyone normal to ever have this ever happen to you. Mm-hmm. So the whole thing's kind of what are we doing here, right? Which is the reason I. Trying to pump this idea is you can't win that. You can't be a part of that. But you can give money. But you can be okay, if you guys vote, all I'm saying is vote with us. All I'm saying is vote with us. And you get this cash. I'm not paying for your campaign. I'm not doing anything. We have this big fucking slush fund. You vote with us, you get it. Yeah. Yeah. Because all the other stuff is it's never gonna work. You're never going to call enough phones or convince enough people to your ideas. It's a fool's errand. It's never going to happen.
Well, what was the thing you said about I think we were talking about it with sports betting legislation stuff and some of it. And you were saying the only chance for anything was just a rich billionaire who made this a cause that he really cared about throwing around his money.
Yeah. Well, I said
We're starting to lose you again, Brian.
litigious. You need to sue them.
Oh,
right?
yeah, that's
you
what
need to get lobbyists on your side, and you need the press. So like you need to like talk to the press. Like, come on, guys, can't you see it's our stuff? So like, which is kind of in a combo with the other two. But yeah, you need this whole gigantic effort, which would cost millions. Which we can do, Pete. We could raise that money, right? We could try to do it. We could get pretty damn close, honestly, Pete, if we really wanted to spend all, hours around fundraising and hiring the best people. I know the best lobbyists in Illinois. I know exactly who we should hire. Yeah, we could try it. It's like a 3% chance. Less than that. In Illinois, it's over. Illinois, it's fucking set in stone. Everyone who knows shit about gambling legislation in Illinois, talk to Taylor Cavey. I guarantee Taylor Cavey will tell you, no, this is how it's going to go, and it's not going to fucking change. And he's right. And anyone who knows shit about gaming in Illinois knows exactly what's going to fucking happen. So, like, we need a paradigm shift.
Yeah.
And are we going to do that through fucking convincing other people in this day and age where the whole world is polarized and no one wants to hear a word you fucking say? We're gonna convince enough people to our side? No, that's never gonna fucking happen. You pay them, you bribe them.
Money talks. So then what would you say, other than your idea falling in the lap of someone who was, either really rich, really connected, really motivated? What would be the next step to see this reach a more serious level?
I think it's not going to see a serious level.
I know, I'm saying, but there has to be a percentage chance for it to write an article like that.
Oh yeah, I don't know, 3%. I don't know.
Right, and so I'm saying, what are the paths to that 3% hitting?
I don't know. Fucking Jesus comes back to life, and he's like, "No, this is the way, brothers."
That sounds less than 3%.
What does that mean? I like. It'd be nice. Like I do have some podcasts lined up, and I'm going to talk about it, and I don't expect people to like it. It might not make as much sense as I think it does. Too, by the way, I could be completely wrong, so I might be talking on my ass. But I think it's like, what are the ways to convince somebody, right? Like, how are we gonna just you could verbally say something, or you can physically do something, right? So we're gonna have to verbally do this, but the difference is it's fucking legislation. And if you've ever worked for the state, it does not work like you think it does. At all. Like, you guys have no fucking clue what's going on there. At all. In every sector. Every fucking sector. Not just gambling. Not just crypto. Right? So, like, my hope in this. So I, like, want to... my audience is gambling and some crypto. So I wrote for that. But my hope is that it would be broader than that. That maybe some people will realize, like, oh shit, yeah, maybe, yeah. How do we do this? Like Pete, if Miami Coin is getting 30 million in 3 months,
yeah,
how much could we get for something that actually might change shit? It's like, you think Miami Coin's going to fucking change anything, guys? Come on. You're just giving them money that they might eventually use against you.
Why do you think Miami Coin has been successful despite that?
I am not a fucking conspiracy theorist in the slightest, because honestly, because I think I've worked for the government, and so conspiracy theories don't really like work on me. It's like, okay, you think conspiracy? It's like, I was in the local offices, they have boob tubes. You think they're going to fucking put together this gigantic scheme? Like, that's not going to happen. They're a bunch of fucking just normal people. But it doesn't make any fucking sense. The city coin is in, like, with Pomp, Pompliano back in
Yeah,
left.
yeah.
Like, what are you fucking doing? Pompliano's like supposed to be this fucking Liberty guy. Oh yeah. We just need to give more money to the city treasuries. That'll fix things. That'll fix Liberty. Like,
What does
Liberty,
he
bro.
what does he get out of this? He has to be financially
More
incentivized.
viewers? I don't fucking get it. I don't get why anyone who's into crypto isn't going like, hey, this is bullshit.
Mhm.
Why do we want to give more money to the government, local or not local, with no promises and no consequences if they don't do what we want? Who is agreeing to this? Who is happy with this? And they're getting millions.
It doesn't make sense how it's been this popular. Because you'd think there'd be either people on one end of the spectrum who don't know what crypto is, they're intimidated by it, whatever, they don't want anything to do it. And then there'd be the people who like Bitcoin for what its mission and what it's tried to do as a decentralized thing. And then they would hate it too. So like, who are the people in the middle that love it?
Well, you think Pomp would go like, oh, this is kind of antithesis to the original idea, but maybe. It's like, what? Well, what guarantees? What guarantees are we? Like, if Pomp was trying to make what's it called? A deal with a fucking sponsor, you don't think he'd be like, okay, well, how much am I going to get?
Course,
but with Miami Coin, he's like, no. This is just, oh, wow, they get a discount on parking meters? Maybe. It's not like written in law or anything.
Yeah.
And no one from crypto is saying shit. What was the fucking, is Davis Manic running crypto now? This is
I'm now pulling up some of his tweets because I actually hadn't seen his tweets about this stuff. He obviously did. I assume he lives in Miami.
Yeah, now, yeah.
Wow. The city of Miami just announced they're going to give a Bitcoin dividend. Oh, that's something else.
Oh my God. No, that is the same thing. That is Miami Coin.
Here you go. This is incredible. Miami Coin has now generated over 10 million for the city, all built on top of Bitcoin.
In October.
How is it?
Oh my God, they generated 10 million for the city. Okay, now let's take the most charitable interpretation of this. Okay. They're getting money from outside, the majority of it outside the community, that can go towards the residents. Okay. Okay, you can do the same thing, but it can go to a decentralized account for everybody.
Right.
Why does it have to go to the city treasury?
Yeah.
What semblance of crypto does it make sense that it goes to the fucking city treasury instead of the citizens?
It does look like Pomp is ingrained within the city legislature too. I mean, he seems like he might be kind of a puppet.
I like Pomp. Whatever. Like, I got no fucking problems with Pomp. He might be thinking through these things. I hate these fucking Liberty Bros who aren't fucking Liberty Bros. They're not fucking Liberty Bros. They're fucking old Republicans, and fuck you. So
I think that might be a beautiful note to end this on. I know you're going on the Take Cast with Davis. Where else can people find you?
Davis just announced my my what I'll be doing for the next week.
No, I was texting with him about something else, and he mentioned that you were coming on.
No, I will. I love going on Take Cast. I love talking to Davis. I don't have anything else except Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. Drink your Long Island iced teas. Are you going to head out and play Space Invaders tonight?
I just heard my brother come up here, so no, we're gonna go probably play pool, drink some more beers, and I'm not gonna be able. My Take Cast appearance tomorrow is gonna be really bad, so tune in.
Yeah. This was Brian's drunken workshop of his takes for the Take Cast tomorrow. Thank you guys, as always, for tuning into Lulz. I would say the podcast version will be up in a little bit, but I don't know if we can make any promises on that.
We'll see.
We will see. All right, guys, have a great holidays here with Christmas Eve and Christmas coming up, and we will see you next Wednesday. Peace out.